Voilà, il y aura l'interview. Voilà.
Bonjour Margaret.
Bonjour Jean-Pierre, est-ce que tu m'entends?
Oui, je t'entends très bien cette fois-ci.
Bon, alors,
Je vais faire une toute petite introduction pour expliquer le motif pour lequel c'est toi qui vas interviewer, tu vois.
vas-y. Mais pourquoi tu es parti?
Non, je ne suis pas parti, je suis là.
Oui, mais moi j'ai plus de... Ah voilà, c'est bon, j'étais de nouveau là. Ok.
Tu me vois?
Oui, non, c'est bon, maintenant t'es parti et puis t'es revenu.
Attends, je vais changer le fond d'écran parce que peut-être c'est ça qui crée des problèmes, hein.
Ah,
Alors attends, hein, un instant, je vais mettre le même fond d'écran que j'avais l'autre jour. Voilà.
est-ce que je peux aussi enregistrer du coup de mon côté? Ou bien?
Oui, je pense que oui.
Mais il faut que je te demande l'autorisation. Au cas où il y a quelque chose qui se passe avec ton informatique, je peux aussi t'envoyer l'interview.
Oui, attends. Attends. Voilà. Tu me vois là?
Mhm.
Voilà. Alors maintenant, je vais commencer à enregistrer.
Recording in progress.
Ah, il faut que...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jean-Pierre Pribilois speaking from Rome, Italy. Today we have an important artist of ballet. Her name is Margaret Torini. She has been working with me at Ballet du Nord with Alfonso Cata many years ago. And she's a relevant artist of the world of ballet. She has been a principal ballerina at Ballet du Nord in France, and she has been working worldwide. With Mrs. Margaret Torini, we already made an interview a while ago in which we were talking about Alfonso Cata. But then Mrs. Margaret Torini, she asked me, I would like to make an interview with you again. And because you always ask questions to artists, but nobody asks you questions to you about your career. So I said, okay, let's try that. We'll see how it is going to go. I hope that my story of dance is not going to make you everyone asleep, because if I talk too much, after 20 minutes, you will see people on YouTube who will start falling asleep. So I will try to be very brief, very short, and very comic also, because my career has been with a lot of up and downs. So I will try to make it a little bit with a sense of humor. So, good morning, Mrs. Margaret. How are you doing?
Fine, and you? Nice
I'm
to...
fine. I'm fine. Yes. In the morning, everybody looks at 10 o'clock. Everybody looks with the eyes like that, but it's okay. I mean, but we are artists. We are artists, and we try to look the best. But even if we, after a while, we go like that. So I let you ask whatever it comes in your mind about dance, whatever you want, you ask.
First, it's a very great pleasure for me to interview you. The interviewer is interviewed today, the 18th of September 22.
Yes.
You are in Rome, actually.
Yes.
So Jean-Pierre, I have pronounced very Frenchly your name because you have a French background, if I
Yes.
understand. So, can you let us know where you come from, where your family has been growing up, your parents, and from your parents to show us your way, how you became to life, and how you became a great dancer as well, and how your destiny has been built with as a student
Yes.
and as a dancer, professional dancer, how you became, how you have done this great passage, you know, the way
Yes.
to go
Yes. Yes.
there, and how you became as well a director of a school in Morocco, and how everything has been going through all since now. I mean, until now, to have a nice.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. I will try to shorten a little bit of things. So my mother originally she is Italian. She is from Bergamo, and her name was Ada Pisani Pribilois. My father is originally French from Bordeaux. But as you may know, during World War One and World War Two, many families in Europe they couldn't find work and they didn't have enough money to survive. So many of these families were emigrating overseas, who went to United States, who went in Australia, who went in South Africa, and many of them also, especially people from Italy, they were immigrating in northern Africa. So there are a lot of Italians who immigrated also in Libya, in Egypt, some of them in Israel, some others in Jordania, but you know, in many places. So my grandfather parents on my mother's side, they decided to go to Egypt in Alexandria, and at that time you could travel without passport. You could take the ship, the boat, and from Genova or from Venice, you could take the boat and go to Alexandria in a week time. And when you arrived in Alexandria, without any passport, you would show your visit card. And if you had your name written on the visit card, you would say, "This is my name. I'll come from Italy." See, so it wasn't complicated like today that you must have the passport, the ID card, and it was a very simple way. There were also a lot of Italians who went from Genova harbor to Malta. They stayed a little bit in Malta, and from Malta they went to Tunisia or to Libya or to Egypt. And but when they were in Malta, they some of them decided to establish there in Malta, and some others stayed only a couple of weeks and they traveled to northern Africa. And this was the case of my mother side, that they stayed a little bit in Malta and they went to Alexandria. And the same thing happened also with my father's side. They decided to go to Alexandria, Egypt. So when my father started studying at the Jesuit school, he then decided to have his degree in France, and he went and he also passed an exam to find a work because it was very difficult to find work. And he was admitted to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the French ministry, and he decided to start from the very lower degree in order to go higher and higher and higher. But when he came back to, to Egypt, to Alexandria, he already knew my mother, and he started working at the French consulate, who was belonging to the Swiss government, because the French authorities were not in a good relationship with France at that moment. You know that there was the Canal of Suez problems, and there were a little bit of political, how can I say, problems between the countries, no? So they offered this place at the Swiss consulate, who was a branch of the French consulate. But the French government wasn't really occupying the French consulate. It was only the Swiss. And it's only a couple of years later that the Swiss decided to say, okay, now that the French will take over and will occupy again, and that all the problems are settled down between Egypt and France, that the French will send, diplomatic code and everything at the French consulate. And this is how my father started. But he was also, he had to learn Arabic, he had to learn Spanish, he was also speaking a little bit of German, French, English. And my mother instead, she was speaking Italian, French, English, and very well Greek also, because you know in Alexandria it was a very cosmopolitan city in which you had a big community of European people. There were Maltese, Greek, French, Italian, German, Bulgarian, Russian. Everybody was in Alexandria. And what was nice at that time, I'm talking straight after the Second World War, that all these people were gathering together during the weekends, and they were, for instance, the Maltese community was inviting the Greek, the German, the French, and they were preparing all the food specialty, and everybody was sharing and was, so it was a multicultural weekend that you could have traditional music, traditional songs, traditional dances, and everybody was frequenting everyone. So, but I wasn't born yet. So, my father then he grew up in his career at the French consulate, and he got married with my mom. And my mom was
Where did he got married?
they got married in Alexandria.
In Alexandria.
Yes.
In which community?
Well, it was
Religion.
in the town of Alexandria. It was they got married at the Sacred Heart Church of Alexandria, le Sacré-Cœur, we would say, l'église du Sacré-Cœur. And so they got married there, and so my parents decided at that time to not have any children because they didn't want to have children for the moment. They said maybe we will have some children later. But you know, as every young couple, when they are in love and they get married, at that time there wasn't any mobile phone, internet, tablet, computer. So husband and wife at a late evening, what do you do tonight? Nothing. And you, what do you do tonight? Nothing. So a little kiss here, a little kiss there, a little kiss here, a little kiss there, and zoom zoom from here, zoom zoom from there. finally, my mother discovers that she was pregnant. You see what I mean? So life was much simpler. So I was born by accident because my mother didn't want to have any children, also my father. But when my mother saw that her stomach was blowing up every day, she didn't have the courage to say, "Okay, I'm going to get rid out of this baby." I was already something like 5 months. She didn't notice that before. So she went to the doctor and she said, "Look, it's 5 months that I'm not having my usual periods, you know." And the doctor said, "Look, madam, if you don't have your periods, I hope for you you are pregnant. Because if you are not pregnant, so it's something dangerous." So my mother was very worried, and finally she made further tests. She went to hospital to check up, and she discovered that I was inside. So this is after a couple of months, I was born. I can tell you that the day I was born on May 1st, 1959, the whole entire hospital couldn't sleep. I was the only baby. There were about 10 other babies, but I was the only one who was giving kicks with the legs, crying, yelling, making such noise in whole hospital. Finally, the doctor comes in the morning to my mother and said, "But what did you give birth? What a little monster did you give birth?" Because he couldn't let sleep anyone. Nor the nurses, nor the